Yeah, I mean, what we believe that, what we know from this sad story is that patients who get COVID-19 develop a sort of hyperinflammatory situation that is called cytokine storm. So the body answer to the infection at the end lead to not to be of help, but is detrimental, because the hyperinflammatory situation may cause the death of the patient. So starting from this consideration, we believe that omega-3 could once again try to rebalance the immune response, as in other areas I said before. So we are going at the moment carrying a trial in 300 patients in the UK, in Spain, in other countries, where we try to see if by giving EPA to the patient as soon as they get diagnosed for COVID may change the course of this disease, and particularly if it can decrease the severe outcome or the time of hospitalization and so on. So the principle is the same. Try to rebalance the immune response without going to the immunodeficient situation, because some of the drugs that are used at the moment, like tofacitinib, for example, are drugs that reduce the immune response, but also expose the patient to opportunistic infection, whether EPA and omega-3 do not have this kind of side effect. So we just try to rebalance, to put in equilibrium the immune response.
Right. But it would then be similar like with vitamin D3. It would be good that the people would take now more EPA, right, in form of supplement, just to bring up the concentration in their blood, in their cell membranes.
Exactly.
Because I think you just mentioned you are giving the patients the EPA once they are infected.
Yeah.
But in theory, it would be better that they would have already taken EPA before.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is the authority didn't allow us to do at least at the moment. We because you know the emergency of COVID, the pandemic, come out, and then we are not ready, we are not prepared to do. But in the future, our purpose would be just as you said, to supplement EPA before to let's obtain a sort of shield, a protection shield for the patient. And as you mentioned, vitamin D is very important too, because maybe not all the people knows that vitamin D is not really a vitamin, but is a sort of anti-inflammatory agent, because the chemical structure is very close to the corticosteroid. So it's a natural anti-inflammatory agent. And we use in a big amount in inflammatory condition, because in this patient, Crohn, colitis, psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, all those patients, despite living in Sicily with a lot of sun exposition, do have a very low level in the blood. And increasing the level of vitamin D is an adjunctive treatment, can be very helpful.
That is an interesting topic as well. I know that the authorities, I think the health authorities, they recommend, if I'm not mistaken, 800 international units per day. But I hear more and more professionals saying that's far too low, that we should take at least, 4,000, 5,000 international units a day. Does that make sense? Is that something which you would support?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, vitamin D, or let's say called vitamin D, is a lipophilic vitamin. So that means that can be accumulated in the body. And if you reach too high level, it can be detrimental, but this level has never been reached with such a dose. So there are doctors all over the world that are treating patients with giving 1 million of units per day. That's maybe is too much. But as you said, a way in between from such a low dose and the high dose would be very helpful, I think.
Yes, I think so too. Okay, so we're coming slowly to the end. I have one more question to you. Well, I heard that you're also working on another very interesting let's say, topic and area, and that is, I know you cannot disclose a lot of information there, so that's okay. But I hear that you've been working something on a formulation which, with EPA and with GLA and other ingredients, which help to maintain your natural hair color. Is that hair color and hair growth, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, this is, I mean, it seems an ancillary question, but I think is very important. My personal experience with patients with inflammatory chronic activity is every day facing the, especially women, but also men, that have trouble, very heavy trouble with the hair loss. The hair loss is due to many factors. One is the loss of some elements in the feces because of the inflammation, cannot absorb all what we should need to have. But also there is a trouble in terms of chronic inflammation because the production of free radical may damage the hair and causing the loss. Plus, we have also trouble with drug. A lot of new biotechnology, biologic drug may cause the loss of the hair too. Steroids can cause loss of the hair. So there are many situations that are all coming to the same result. And starting from that, we put together a special formula, as you said, that we believe that could work in this respect, facing the inflammatory situation, trying to correct some deficiency that is very important in this patient. But also, I think, because of some of the mechanism that leads to the hair loss is common also in healthy people, that formula could work not only in patients with inflammation, but also in, let's say, normal people.
But did you actually see that already? So did you have the opportunity to try such a product with some of your patients? And was there a recovery of the hair growth?
I tried to give the idea comes from the fact that I tried to give the separate ingredient, and they even separately they work. So I have experienced one with at least a couple of the ingredients of the formula, and they both help. So I think that we could, if you could put together all this mechanism, all this ingredient that works in different way, we may have a more synergic effect.
It is amazing, really, for me to see how many applications these omega-3 fatty acids have. And most of these applications, if you go or burn it down, goes back to anti-inflammatory effects. So people, you keep on hearing people which say, oh yeah, omega-3, it works for everything. But basically it's always a very similar mechanism. It's the anti-inflammatory effect, bringing down chronic inflammation, which then has these positive, effects on different outcomes and symptoms of diseases. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, just final remarks. I think that this is true. That omega-3 works for everything, and that's correct, because you have to believe that we change dramatically our body composition, and everything is online in this respect, because all these incidents of inflammatory chronic condition parallel the change in alimentary habit. And so I think, of course, genes are important, toxic are important, but if our body could be like the body of our ancestor, I'm sure that the size and the number of patients with inflammatory condition would be much less.